Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video on my channel. Now today I have a haul of 3 books, but they are 3 thick Marvel Omnibus. One is thicker than all the rest, and the other 2 are like reasonable size. The first one we're going to look at is a book that I picked up because it's by the same creative team that worked on one of my favourite Superman books, and that is All-Star Superman, and the creators are Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. Let's just put back, which is, so Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, and that is All New X-Men by Grant Morrison. I've heard such great things. As you see, great Frank Quitely art on the front. So we have Beast, we have Gemma Frost, Cyclops, and these other characters I'm not too sure on. They might just be how they're drawn. On the side, Marvel Omnibus, All New X-Men with that cool sort of whichever way you look at it, like New X-Men, or if you turn it on the side, it also says the same, so New X-Men, which I thought was really clever. And then down here in the bottom, we have like the X-Men team. So I believe that's Professor X, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, not Gemma Frost. Completely forgotten her name, and then I don't know who that character is. I've probably butchered. I'm blanked at the moment. And this collects All New X-Men 114 to 154 and All New X-Men Annual 2001. Here are the lovely covers here. Some standouts that I really enjoy. This Wolverine one. The Magneto one. This other Magneto one, so it just looks sick. What's another one? I really enjoy this cover. No, it's just, I like wide spreads. I would take this off and show you what the cover underneath looks like. It's still in the wrapper, as you can probably see. So I'm trying to keep that on until I get around to reading it, because I really don't want to damage the dust jacket. Sorry if that made a horrible noise, but yeah, I don't want to really damage the dust jacket. Really looking forward to reading this, and because I want to get more into the X-Men. Like, I have Uncanny X-Men by Bendis, and that's sort of it that I have X-Men wise. So I also have Astonishing X-Men by Josh Whedon. So I really want to build up my collection on the characters of the X-Men. And talking of building up my X-Men collection, here is the other book that I picked up, and that is X-Men by Chris Claremont, Volume 1, so Marvel Omnibus, Uncanny X-Men by Claremont, Cockrum and Byrne. And then lovely covers on the back. There are 3 of these out at the moment. I believe there will be a 4th. And then there is another run that Chris Claremont done with Jim Lee, who you would know Jim Lee from DC, but this was back when he was like just still starting up. This collects Giant Size X-Men 1, the X-Men 94 to 133, and Annual number 3. Not too thick of a book, but still really looking forward to reading this. On the front we have Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Beast, Angel, Jean Grey, and I'm not sure about these 2 characters, but I'll give it a read and find out. Really looking forward to this, and I want to get more of the X-Men. The final book that I have is, as you can see on the front, Amazing Fantasy Spiderman number 15, which everyone would know is the first appearance of Spider-Man, obviously. And then, so, Marvel Omnibus, The Amazing Spider-Man by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, Volume 1. I have the... I also have... I'm trying to pick up as many Stan Lee original runs as possible. Like, my first ever omnibus that I picked up was Daredevil by Stan Lee. I really enjoyed this book. One thing that I hated, and you'll know if you've read this, is the Mike Murdock character. Not Matt Murdock, Mike Murdock. I might do a whole separate video on it, but just the character of Mike Murdock is just rotten. Hate him. Despise him with a passion. So yeah, hopefully there's none of that sort of thing in here. Really hoping there isn't. But yeah, this collects Amazing Fantasy number 15, Amazing Spider-Man 1 to 38, Annual number 1 and 2, Strange Tales Annual number 2, and the Fantastic Four Annual number 1. As you can see, here are the great covers on the front. So you have them going up against the Chameleon, Vulture, Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Human Torch, Fantastic Four. Who else can I see? Electro, Mysterio, Green Goblin, Kraven, the Sinister Six, Daredevil. Trying to see who else I can see. It's noteworthy. Scorpio. But yeah, so some very big, some of Spider-Man's biggest rogue gallery. So in the early 60s, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko had the intelligence and creativity to make a superhero that was a human being first and foremost. So, really looking forward to this. Some usual, like, 60s. You will always have that whole 60s cheese, but if you're a Spider-Man fan, I feel you have to at least have the original run on the character written by Stan Lee. Once again, this is still in its wrapper to keep it going. But yes, Spider-Man is dear to my heart because the first ever graphic novel that I picked up was The Superior Spider-Man, My Own Worst Enemy. And then the first ever issue that I picked up was The Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 by Dan Slott. And if I hadn't have watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and then that day said I want to start reading some Spider-Man comics, if the day that I'd gone in and I hadn't seen The Amazing Spider-Man number 1, I probably would have walked out and never started reading comics. So it's just a bit of fun fact for you. And what I'm planning of doing, I will make a separate video on it, so you could submit all your questions in there, is I want to do a Q&A. So it can be related to comics, games, my personal life, any recommendations, anything like that, just so that you guys get to know me on more personal levels. So tell me what you think about that. Suggest me any questions or anything. Now when I say personal to my life, I don't mean any of this crap, oh, are you a virgin, oh, do you have a girlfriend, all this, like, no. When I mean personal, I mean like, what's my job, or how old am I, just those sorts of things, or fun facts about me that you would probably want to know. None of this sort of weird stuff where it's like, oh, when was the first time you had sex, awkward sex stories, all of this shit. But yeah, tell me down below if you've picked up any of the 3 that I've shown today. And yeah, about the Q&A idea, just tell me down below if you'll be interested in me doing a Q&A. And if I see enough people coming back about it, then I will consider making another video about it where you could submit your questions and that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.